We are now just about a half hour away from when doors open at caucus sites around Iowa. The first actual votes of the 2024 presidential race coming a bit later this evening. And the man who will be taking us through all of it tonight for many hours to come and all year long is NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki, who joins us now from the big board with a look at what he's watching for tonight. Okay, Steve, what are we watching for tonight?
Yeah, well, we'll take you to the map that will begin filling up sometime after 8 o'clock Eastern. By the way, the first vote reports from the Iowa Republican caucuses the last time around in 2016, just to give you a little sense, 8:36 Eastern time, 7:36 Iowa time. We got our first report, so maybe file that one away for tonight. So this map will be filling in, but in terms of what, 99 counties here, what are we going to be looking for in them? Let me give you a few different ideas, and I think we'll use 2016 here sort of as a guidepost here in splitting up the state. So remember, first of all, obviously, Trump lost Iowa in 2016. Ted Cruz beat him by 3 points, and Marco Rubio was only a point behind Trump. He almost beat Trump for second place. Now, why did Ted Cruz win Iowa and Donald Trump didn't in 2016? One word. You were just talking about it. Evangelicals. They made up 64% of the Iowa Republican electorate in 2016. And the formula here in modern Iowa caucuses has been you win the evangelical vote, you win the caucuses. That's how Mike Huckabee did it in 2008, Rick Santorum in 2012, Ted Cruz over Donald Trump in 2016. So with that in mind, there are 42 counties of these 99 that voted for all three of the candidates I just mentioned, the evangelical candidates, Huckabee, Santorum, and Cruz. 42 of the 99. So we're going to be keying in on those early. Almost all the sort of very, very dark red you see on the map, these are all the Cruz counties, the very dark red. Most of them fit that criteria. He won some counties that weren't Huckabee and Santorum as well, but most of these fit that Huckabee, Santorum, Cruz. None maybe more dramatically than Sioux County in the northwest part of the state. Deeply, deeply religious here. And you see Cruz won it, but the thing you don't see is Donald Trump's name here. Donald Trump got 11% of the vote in Sioux County. This is the 9th largest in terms of votes produced on caucus night. Donald Trump was 11%. This was his worst county in the state. Remember, in 2016, there was a lot of skepticism, resistance to him among evangelicals. The story of the last 8 years, that seems to have changed. Sioux County will tell us a lot about that story tonight. Is Trump winning here? How much is he winning by? Is it a runaway? Those are the sorts of things we're going to be looking for. Those 42 counties that were Huckabee, Santorum, and Cruz. How many of them is Trump flipping over? And conversely, if DeSantis is going to make any noise tonight, going to surprise anyone, look as well to those 42 counties. Is he winning any of them? Is he winning a bunch of them? Is he close to Trump in a bunch of them? The better he does, those are core counties for him because he's going after the evangelical vote so hard in this campaign. So we're going to look closely at those. Another type of county, the other big type of county to keep an eye on, far, far fewer of these, but everything you see, sort of whatever you want to call this color. Is it pink? Is it cream? Is it salmon? I'm almost colorblind. I can't quite tell. But anyway, whatever you want to call this color here, and there are 5 counties, and they were all won by Marco Rubio. The thing these 5 counties have in common, they got big populations, at least within Iowa. These are some of the biggies. Polk County, where Des Moines is the biggest. About 17% of the caucus vote is going to come out of there. Now, what did Marco Rubio have in 2016? Let me go back to the full state result. Marco Rubio's voters tended to be college educated. They tended to be higher income. They tended to live in urban areas or suburban areas. That is what defines these 5 counties here. This is a big bedroom community suburb of Des Moines. Dallas County, Rubio won it. Trump was far behind. How about Story County? This is one of Trump's worst in the state, only 15%, Rubio in a runaway. This is where Iowa State University is. This is where Ames is. So again, Nikki Haley, like Rubio, attracting higher income, college-educated, urban, suburban voters. So if Nikki Haley is going to make noise tonight, get second, get the kind of momentum out of Iowa she's looking for, look for it in Polk. Look for it in Dallas County. Whoa, I didn't mean to move the map there. Look for it in Dallas County. Look for it in Story County. Right here, Johnson County. This is the biggest Democratic county in the state in general elections, but it's where Iowa City is. The University of Iowa, it still produces a good number of votes on the Republican side. This was Rubio territory in 16. Is it Haley territory tonight? So those are some keys we're going to be looking at. Evangelical counties that resisted Trump in 2016 and went for Ted Cruz. Is Trump turned it completely around there, or is DeSantis giving him a run for his money in some of those? And those suburban, urban counties, college degrees, higher incomes, Is Nikki Haley running up big margins there that might get her into second place, that might get a surprise showing for her? And again, Trump did poorly in those counties as well. Has he improved at all?
One of the questions, Stephen, you've talked about this, I have, is about what will show Nikki Haley has expanded her coalition. And you mentioned some of these very big counties, Polk, where Des Moines is, Story County, Lynn County, where college campuses are, Johnson County. Where are the places you might be watching to see, even though the population is small, if she does better than expected there? It might be an indication she might be having a good night.
Yeah, and this is the challenge for Haley, I think, even just from a message standpoint, because we just found it in our last poll. More than 3/4 of her voters say they have a negative view of Donald Trump. Half of her voters in our poll identify as either independents or Democrats. And I think not coincidentally in our poll, her unfavorable rating spiked pretty dramatically. This is something we've seen in Republican politics in the Trump era. Think of Chris Christie. Think of Mike Pence. The more you get sort of seen as the candidate of the anti-Trump vote, the anti-Trump forces, the more that Republicans who like Donald Trump, and that is the vast majority of Republicans, will turn on you. That might be happening to Nikki Haley. If she wants to put that to bed tonight, it's not just doing well in those places I talked about. Some places you might look, southern Iowa here along the Missouri border, because I just used Marco Rubio in 2016 as an example. Take a look at how Rubio did in some of these counties in 2016. Start right here. Again, you don't see his name. Ben Carson got third here. Rubio, these are rural areas, lower income, lower college degree concentration, and Rubio just wasn't even registering. Just go right across. Ben Carson in third, no Rubio. Ben Carson in third, no Rubio. Ben Carson in third, no Rubio. So this is what tripped Rubio up in 2016. If he'd shown a pulse in these rural counties I'm showing you some examples of, he could have passed Trump and got second place. He might have even been able to beat Ted Cruz in 2016, but he absolutely fell flat in those places. The polling we're seeing indicates that Nikki Haley is not going to do that much better. If she does, that would be a surprise. That would indicate an expansion of her base away from just non-Republicans, away from Trump-skeptical voters, to more of the core Trump-era Republican base. And that would be an interesting development, and certainly one her campaign, I think, would welcome and would make a lot of noise about if they could get it.
And, Steve, are you able to I mean, in your polling, you track if people voted for Trump in 2016, if they voted for Trump in 2020 in the general elections. Are we going to be able to discern, or how quickly will we be able to discern, if Trump is actually expanding his universe of voters, the people who are voting for him this time that didn't vote for him last time, particularly in the suburban counties?
Yeah, every county, as we get results, I'll just show you right now what we're going to do. Go back out to the statewide level. And again, I mean, we'll go to the biggest county. Let's just say we got results out of Polk County to start the night here. What we'll do, actually, I'm going to go over two tonights. That might make this all easier. So go to the 2024 screen. It's blank now. Let's say we get results from Polk County. Every county we get them, we're going to compare. How did it look in 2016? And, here's Polk's number for Trump. He was at 22%. He was in third place. If he's doing massively better than that tonight, that'll be a story. If he's only doing incrementally better, that'll be its own story. We're going to start looking for trends that way. Certainly, we expect Trump to be improving pretty much across the board on his 2016 showing. The question is how much. The polls are indicating it's going to be massive improvement, basically a little more than doubling his support based on our final poll in any given county. Is he actually doing that? Is he coming in short of that? Is he exceeding that? But we'll have those numbers as they come, and that's going to be a major point of comparison for us.